Dear friends, Namaskar. In previous session, we had talked about co-creating values for governance. In this session, we will have an idea of life cycle of digital transformation. Digital transformation is a multi-stage process and there are many life cycles which have been explained in the literature to understand the complete process of digital transformation. I am sharing with you my own life cycle, which is to explain digital transformation of governance. This life cycle proposed by me has 6 basic steps. The first step is defining the vision, strategy and objectives as per citizens' perspective. In fact, citizen would stay in the center. The second phase of this life cycle is to evaluate and choose the best alternative so that we could identify an intervention which is able to fulfill the functional requirements of our cycle. In the third phase, we will design the transformation itself. In fourth phase, the paper tiger of the design of transformation would be implemented and operationalized. In the next stage, it would be managed and accessed. And in the last stage, we would enhance this implemented cycle by the feedback of the citizen, which is, as I said, in the core. Without going in much details, the first phase, which we could also identify as the defining phase, is all about hearing the voices and choices of the citizens through various tools and techniques. In the second phase, as I said, keeping citizen in the core, we would try to evaluate and choose the best alternative so that number one, we can achieve better engagement of the stakeholders for a rigorous, flexible, agile feedback. Number two, we are able to deliver better information for which we need to create standard templates and best practices can be looked into. Number three, there is more innovation so that the delivery is effective and the risks are minimized. Once the best alternative has been picked up, the next stage 3 is all about designing this transformation. In designing this transformation, the main goal is to stay technology agnostic, and for doing that, we should capture who, what, how and where of the whole process. And this is done through citizens' participation by creating microservices and agile processes in a way which is contextualized and personalized. The implementation should happen, and also the models of outsourcing are understood in this and designed in this phase. The next phase is about implementing and operating the whole process, for which we have to focus on awareness part for the citizens. We have to focus on transactions, the interfaces UI and UX. We have to focus on delivery channels, multimode delivery channels. We have to focus on evaluation processes as well as customized delivery to ensure, as I said, contextualized and personalized service deliveries are assured. Everything that has been created is managed and assessed in stage 5. So, stage 5 is actually to ensure a uniform transformed access. It is all about re-engineering, it is all about creating agile processes, it is all about ensuring up-to-date and current systems. It is also to ensure people centricity or citizen centricity stays and there are no breakdowns, and if any, they are immediately overcome so that the governance continuity is assured. Digital transformation life cycle essentially rests on a very important foundation of systems thinking, as was communicated in the first session. Now, systems thinking wants and insists on a dynamic, responsive feedback system to ensure enhancement as per the user's needs and aspirations. This is also to ensure that with the changing times and circumstances, the system is responsive and agile. Design is the most agile step of digital transformation life cycle. Therefore, the artifacts of this step need to be looked into very carefully, and the literature has divided these artifacts in primarily 4 categories. These 4 categories are people, process, technology, The design artifact of people category include training calendars, knowledge management systems, new revised HR policy, governance structures, awareness and communication plan of the institute, individual and institutional capacity building plans, so on and so forth. In the process design artifact, we collect key process areas including the list of re-engineered processes, design of delivery channels, process performance matrices and measures, operational processes, design of services, service level and service level matrices. Monitoring and evaluation framework is also defined under the process category. Customer relationship strategies, quality management systems, regulation and compilation processes are also treated as a design artifact under the process category. With regard to technology, high level architecture, detailed architecture which is operational, security systems, physical and digital, safety systems, disaster recovery systems, business continuity plan of the organization, technology management units, technology infrastructure, tools and documentation could be considered as important design artifacts under the category of technology. Also in phase 3 or step 3, business model also has several design artifacts such as how would the project be conducted. So, what would be the revenue model, what would be the estimate project cost, the apex and capex both, what would be the budget and financial systems, procurement policies, licensing policies, franchising model, service change structures, promotion, value add services, accounting systems and many such logistic and administrative aspects related to the business of the design transformation of an organization or governance structure. Therefore, this list of design items would comprise both of digital and non-digital components, and the length of this list would vary from the amount or the scope of the project to be undertaken. Designing can also be done in parallel manner where several streams run sequentially or in collaboration or by separate project teams. There is a critical need for involving domain experts to ensure that these transformation projects are able to meet the aspiration of the people. Particular mention must be made about those items which require specialized experts or resources, and in people category this could be the new and revised HR policy and change management plan. With regard to processes, we must focus and create list of re-engineered processes, services, service level matrices and detailed project plan. With regard to technology, high level architecture, detailed architecture and security of the systems both at physical level and digital level must be defined in the design cycle or as in the design step. With regard to business models, all of us know capex and opex must be defined, revenue model must be defined, procurement policy should be identified, and how would we promote our business is an equally important design artifact at step 3 of design transformation life cycle. Therefore, if we have to summarize our learning from session 1 and session 2, we would just put forth that the concept of entire workplace of governance is undergoing a radical change. The fundamentals will not change, but our approach to workplace, workforce and work people would change. Sequential decision making would lead way to agile decision making. The focus of digital transformation life cycle would be to agile, such a system where we can think quickly on the feet, and adaptable, which is willing to adapt to any situation, to any need, including the present turbulent need of COVID times. So, this finishes our session 3, and in session 4 we would talk about role of emerging technologies in governance. Till then, thank you. Jai Hind.